Hi everyone, my name is LIM CHEE WEI and now I will be present on my final year project with the title Streetbytes Sentiment Enriched Penang Street Food Tour Itinerary Plannings. And this project is under the supervise of my supervisor, Dr. JC Liu Sudian. As we all know that Malaysia consists of people from different cultures, and each of the culture will have their own foods. That's why it makes Malaysia has become one of the food paradise well known in the world. In this project, I will only focus on Penang. In Penang, there's a lot of famous street food such as char kway teow and Hokkien mee. A lot of tourists willing to visit to Penang just because of these street foods, and this will bring a lot of income to our country and help in our country economy. For the tourists who visit to Penang, they may not familiar with the street food vendors in Penang, so they might need to waste some time in doing the researches and also reading the food vendors' comments in order to understand the food vendors' pros and cons in order to decide which food vendor to try when they visit Penang. And if they want to have a food tour in Penang, they may need to plan for their itinerary, and their planned itinerary may not be efficient enough and cannot fully utilize the time they spend in Penang. Other than that, there are some good food vendor is hidden deep in the street is not easy to be found if you are not local. To solve the stated problems, there are some AI elements will be implemented in this project. First is the sentiment analysis, and follows by the recommended systems and also the auto generation of itinerary. And these are the objectives of this project. There are 4 modules in Streetbytes, which the first module is Identify User Preferences modules. This module is mainly used to capture all the needed data from the users and also from the food vendors. And the second module will be the Perform Food Vendor Sentiment Analysis. The sentiment analysis will be performed on the collected food vendor comments in order to help the user to analyze the advantage and disadvantage of the food vendor. The next module is provide food vendor recommendations. By using these modules, the system are able to recommend and provide a suitable food vendor that match with the user requirements to the user. And the last module in our project will be the Generate Food Tour Itinerary modules. By using these modules, the system are able to automatically generate an efficient food tour itinerary for the users. The right hand side shows the architecture diagram of Streetbytes. First, the user must have a mobile device that is able to connect to internet and also have the GPS sensor. Then, the user can retrieve the needed data from the database through internet. And if the users want the data to be processed, they can send the request to the backend server. Then the backend server will retrieve the needed data from the database and process, and finally return the result to the user's mobile device. My backend server is written in Python and will be deployed on Google Cloud platforms as a RESTful API. And my mobile application will be written in Javascript, and all the food vendors' details are scrapped from the Google's and will be stored in the Firebase. There are 2 stakeholders in Streetbytes. Now I will show the food vendor side. So this is the main page of food vendors, which they can change their vendor pictures, change their vendor names, and so change their vicinities, and view the food that provided by these food vendors, and try to edit on the food provided. And view the analysis of the comments left by other users. Besides, the food vendor can also change their business hours and change the tag of the vendor. The food vendor are also able to view their competitors' details and reply the questions asked by the tourists. So now I will show the tourist side. The tourists are able to log in and register for new account. This is a main page of tourists. For the first time user, they are requested to click on the top right buttons to select the location where they want to start the food trip. After confirm, the user can click the confirm button. The top here shows the top food vendors, and also the bottom here shows the food vendors separated by their own categories. Next, this is a profile page of tourists. As usual, the users are able to change their profile pictures, change their usernames, and change their preferences, and these preferences will be used in the recommending systems and also the planning of the itinerary. And the user can also check which food vendor that he viewed before by using these buttons, and also view the favorite list. Pang, what do you want to eat for lunch?
I don't know, you decide lah.
Every time I decide, now it's your turn to decide. So next is the recommended systems. As you can see, the top right here shows the scores, which we name it as BytesScore. The higher the BytesScore, which means it will be more likely to recommend it to the users. And the users can also sort the food vendors by using different attributes. So by default, it's using the BytesScore. You can also click on the food vendors to check on their details. So these are the food provided by these food vendors, and also the opening hour of these food vendors. And below here shows the comments that left by other users on these food vendors. If you have some comments, you can also add your own comments. If you are interested to the food vendors, you can add it into your favorite list. Or you can also check the analysis of these food vendors. By clicking this button, the external application will navigate you to these food vendors. If you have some questions that you want to ask the food vendors, you can also chat with the food vendors. Pang, tomorrow we are going to Penang. You plan a food trip schedule already?
Not yet. You plan lah. I'm busy now.
Lazy leh, you plan lah.
I'm lazy also. Cancel then.
So next function is itinerary planning. First, the user have to select the foods that they want to try within the itinerary. For examples, I want to try char kway teow, chicken rice, and Hokkien mee, and mee goreng. And I want to plan the schedule for tomorrow, so I can select the tomorrow date and set a starting time. I want to start from 9 AM and click the generate button. So the system has recommended the food vendor for each food. So the first one is the selected food vendor for char kway teow, And below here shows the selected food vendor for chicken rice, and for Hokkien mee, and for mee goreng. If you are not satisfied with the selected food vendor, you can also customize the food vendors by yourself. You can also view the food vendors on map. So as you can see, just now I select the locations is nearby the food vendors. After the user have confirmed with the food vendors, you can click next button. So these are the generated schedules by using the selected food vendors. If the user not happy with the time of the schedule, they can also click on the time to customize the time. So you can see the schedules, time is changed. You can also view the schedule on the map. It shows the first destinations, the second destinations, third destinations, and the final destination. You can click on this change food vendor order button. Then you can customize the order of food vendors by using drag and drop. And the total traveling time and total traveling distance will be calculated and displayed to the users. After the schedule is confirmed, you can click on the confirm buttons to start using the planned schedule. In this page, the user are able to save the schedules. Other than that, the user are also able to share the planned schedules on their social medias. So the image of the itineraries can be shared on the social medias. By using these QR codes, the users are able to scan and download the APK. The users are also able to read and comment on the generated schedules in order to help us in the improvement of algorithms. As conclusions, all the objectives in Streetbytes are achieved, and the applications developed are worked in good conditions, and the developed applications are stable. Streetbytes are able to solve the stated problems faced by the tourists. Is able to auto-generate an efficient itineraries for the tourists, and also recommend the food vendors for the users with the implementation of sentiment analysis. So this process can help the tourists to save a lot of time. That's all my presentations. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.